Dear all, welcome to the fourth lecture of the lecture series in automobile engineering. In our previous lecture, we had seen about connecting rod, crankshaft, camshaft, and an introduction to the valves, and also the function of all these components, the materials that are used to make these components, and also the different parts of these components. Now in today's lecture we will be seeing in detail the different valve actuating mechanisms. So there are mainly two types of valve actuating mechanisms that are noticed in engines, that is the side camshaft system, or it is also known as the overhead valve system, and there are several types of the side camshaft systems. And the second valve actuating mechanism is the overhead camshaft system, and it also has many number of types. So you'll be seeing in detail the different valve actuating mechanisms. So let us just have an introduction to what is an overhead valve or a side camshaft system. So the overhead valves, from the name itself we can infer that the valves are operated by tappet rods and push rods. So overhead valves. So in this case the camshaft is located near to the crankshaft at the bottom end of the engine, and the crankshaft, as we mentioned earlier, the camshaft rotates at half the rotational speed of the crankshaft, and it is connected by means of timing gears or timing belts or chain system. And the camshaft actuates a tappet or a follower, which will again actuate a push rod, and the push rod will again actuate a rocker arm. The rocker arm is a lever that is mounted on the rocker shaft, and when one end of the rocker arm is pushed up, the other end comes down and it pushes a spring loaded valve, and thus the valve opens. So that is the main function or the main working of the overhead valve system. So the same system you have studied in your thermal engineering lab, you might have seen in the experiment of measuring the crank angle. So in the single cylinder 4-stroke Kirloskar diesel engine, the cut section placed in the lab, you have, or you can clearly see this particular system. So let us just see the diagram, you will understand it clearly now. This was how it looked like really in the lab, how the system looked like. So we have a camshaft here on which there are a number of cams, and when the cam lobe or the pointed portion of the cam comes into contact with this follower we call it as the tappet. So when it touches the tappet, this tappet will rise, it will go up, and it will push this push rod. This slender or thin rod is known as the push rod. It is pushed upwards, and this push rod is bolted at one end to the rocker arm. And this rocker arm, it is a lever that is mounted on the rocker shaft. So when this end is pushed upwards, this end will come down, push down, and this end of the rocker arm is in contact with the valve tip, and it will push the valve down and this valve will open. and when this lobe portion of the cam passes the region of the tappet, due to the spring loading of the valve, due to the spring pressure, the valve is again pushed upwards and it will close. And when it is pushed upwards, it will exert pressure on the tip of the rocker arm, and it will in turn push down the push rod and the tappet mechanism. So that is how the overhead valve system works. Overhead valves are used in only very few number of engines due to several disadvantages which we will see later on in this presentation. So in overhead valves, the valves in the head are operated by tappet and the push rod mechanism. And the tappet rods extend through an enclosed space through a push rod. So this is the tappet, and the tappet rod, it is of some smaller length, and this push rod is extending up to or inside the tappet. If you have seen clearly in the lab, you will notice that the tappet is actually a hollow cylinder. The rocker arms and rocker shafts are enclosed by a valve cover made of pressed steel. So all these valve mechanisms, they are enclosed in a valve cover. So valve cover of the engine, it will enclose all these mechanisms and it will keep it safely, and it will also muffle the noise. So the noise produced is thus lesser. Even though large noise is produced, the driver or the passengers in the car do not hear that much voice due to the muffling mechanism. The joints can be effectively lubricated, and all bearings are protected from dust. So these are some of the features of overhead valve system, but this valve system is not much commonly used in automobiles, especially in recent automobiles or latest automobiles, because of several disadvantages. We will discuss that in the following slides. So this is just a diagrammatic representation. Again, as we told, this is the cam tappet, this is the push rod, the rocker arm, and this is the valve which is mounted on a valve spring. The second type of mechanism is known as the overhead camshaft. So overhead camshaft means the camshaft is located at the top of the engine. So in the previous case, the camshaft was lying at the bottom near to the crankshaft, whereas in this case the camshaft is located at the top, and the cams come directly in contact with the valve or the tappet mechanism, or we can also call it as the follower. So the valves, the cams will be directly in contact with the follower, and it will directly operate the valves. So such a mechanism is very commonly used in automobiles due to several advantages, and it reduces the weight. It is the most simplest and direct method of actuating valves. It is a very simple mechanism. I will show you the mechanism in detail in the coming slide. And it reduces the weight of valve reciprocating parts. So since the number of mechanical parts are lesser, this particular system needs lesser maintenance when compared with the side camshaft or overhead valve system. But one of the disadvantages is that it is more noisy than overhead valve system, because here the cam is coming directly in contact with the tappet. So when at high speeds the cams come and hit at the follower, come and contact with the follower, and large friction is noticed. So it is much more noisy than the OHV engines. Then here also the working principle of the cam is the same, that is when the cam nose or when the cam lobe touches the follower, it pushes down the follower and there is a valve spring and it pushes down the valve and opens the valve. And after the cam lobe passes and it moves away from the follower due to the valve spring pressure, the valve will close automatically. But another disadvantage here noticed in such type of arrangement, that is overhead camshaft, is that the pressure that is acting on the follower, that is when the cam is coming in contact with the follower directly, this will exert more pressure on the camshaft. So there is a tendency of the camshaft to vibrate or to move forward due to the pressure. Since it is rotating at a higher speed, it will cause vibration in the camshaft. So in order to reduce this vibration or the slight forward movement of the camshaft, it is advisable to give more load to the camshaft. That is, for operating the fan belt can be connected to the camshaft, water pump, generator. So all these connections, all these accessories can be given as additional load to the camshaft so that vibration can be reduced. So when all these are connected to the camshaft, it will remain more intact. So since more load is applied on the camshaft, it will remain intact and prevent vibration. So this is the picture of a overhead camshaft system of a bike engine. So here you can see the cam and directly the cam is in contact with the tappet or the follower, and when the cam lobe comes and touches this follower, it will be pushed downwards and the follower pushes and opens up the valve. So here this is the inlet valve, this is the inlet port and the inlet valve, inlet manifold and the inlet valve. This is the exhaust valve and the exhaust manifold. You can see here, if you see the diameters as we mentioned in the last class, the inlet valve has a larger diameter when compared with the exhaust valve. The reason we had explained in the previous lecture, that is to prevent thermal loading. So the valve actuating mechanisms which we just discussed in brief right now, that is mechanisms with the side camshaft, it is also known as the overhead valve system, and mechanisms with the overhead camshaft. So these two are the different methods of valve actuating mechanism. So valve actuating mechanism in total, all these components we call it as the valve train. And the camshafts, they are connected, as we mentioned earlier, they are connected to the crankshafts, and usually it is run at 1/2 the rotational speed of the crankshaft. Now let us see in detail the mechanisms with the side camshaft system. There are automobile engines with side camshaft system which were used earlier, but nowadays with high-speed engines this type of system is not much preferred. You can see here the diagram of the engine, the picture of the engine. This is the crankshaft, and from the crankshaft there is a belt that is attached to the camshaft through a pulley. The diameter of the pulleys are in such a way that the camshaft is rotating at, or the diameter ratio is such that the camshaft rotates at half the rotational speed of the crankshaft. So here you can see the cams that are mounted on the camshaft. So this is a 4-cylinder engine. You can see 4 pistons here, and 4 into 2, 8 valves. So in actual practice there are around 16 valves in a 4-cylinder engine. So this is just a diagram. It shows 8 valves, and you can see here that one is the inlet valve and other is the exhaust valve. So inlet valve and exhaust valves, they are controlled by, the opening and closing is controlled by means of the rotation of this cam on the camshaft. So when this lobe of the cam touches this tappet, it will lift the push rod, it will push the rocker arm, and correspondingly it will open up that valve. And when it is closing, it will push down the other valve. So here the double action takes place in this particular system or in this particular engine. That is, one end of the rocker arm is connected to the inlet valve and the other end of the rocker arm is connected to the exhaust valve. So when one valve is opened and finally it is closed, after some time the other valve is opened and the other valve is closed based on the strokes. So this type of system, it is not much preferred because of several disadvantages which we will see now. So the valve actuating mechanism, it is known as the mechanism with side camshaft because the camshaft is located at a side or near to the crankshaft. And it is located on the side of the engine, and valves are operated by cams directly or by push rod and rocker arms. Usually push rod and rocker arm mechanism is used in this, as we saw earlier. The valve lifter or the follower is operated on and it will actuate the push rod actuates the rocker arm, and finally it opens up the valve. The advantages of the system are, we can obtain high volumetric efficiency in the engine because we get sufficient time for opening and closing of the valve. Higher compression ratios can also be used in engines which use this type of system, and we can also obtain a very lean air fuel mixture. Lean air fuel mixture in the sense, it means that the air fuel ratio, the ratio of air to that of the petrol or gasoline used, it can be very lean. That means the quantity of air is higher and the quantity of the fuel is lower. That is a lean mixture. A rich mixture means the quantity of petrol or the fuel is higher when compared to that of the air. So leaner air fuel mixture can be burned in an engine which is using this particular type of system. Now, as I mentioned, this is not much used nowadays due to these disadvantages. We have seen that this system has a number of mechanical parts. So we have a camshaft on which the cam is machined. Then we have the follower mechanism, that is the tappet. Tappet again, it is connected to the push rod. Push rod again connected to the rocker arm, and rocker arm is again connected to the valve. So there are a number of mechanical linkages or systems that are attached. So to time the opening and closing of this valve, it is very difficult. You will have to activate all these mechanical parts in order to correctly open and close this valve. So it is very difficult. So proper valve timing cannot be achieved at higher speeds due to large number of mechanical linkages. It has a noisy operation because all these are mechanical parts, and when they are in contact with each other, then noise will be produced. So we should always remember that the operation is happening at a very high speed. Engines can run at very high RPM, 4000 even 5000 RPM. So the crankshaft, if it runs at 4500 RPM or 5000 RPM, the camshaft will run at 2500 rpm, and the opening and closing of the valves will also be very fast, many number of times in 1 second. So large noise can be produced, and greater maintenance will be required due to more wear and tear at the joints of all these linkages. Since these are mechanical parts, they will be subjected to wear and tear. So after some time, many of these parts will have to be replaced or maintained. So high maintenance cost is involved. Now let us check briefly what are the different side camshaft systems. So side camshaft, it is also known as overhead valve systems. So let us see what are the different types. Usually this type of valve mechanisms, they are known by the engine shapes. So here you can see the first type is double row side valve mechanism. It is also known as the T-head engine. T-head engine. So you can see here the engine head resembles the alphabet T. That is why it is known as the T-head engine, and mechanism it is known as double row side valve mechanism. So as you can see in this diagram, there are two cams separately for each valve, inlet valve and the exhaust valve, and the cams are directly in contact with the follower, and the follower again it comes into contact with the tip of the valve, and it will push the valve open, and again after the cam lobe passes over, due to the spring pressure, the valve will come down and automatically close. So that is how it works. So for two valves, that is inlet valve and exhaust valve, we have separate mechanisms for opening and closing, and it is called a T-head engine. The second type of side camshaft system is single row side valve system. So we have the double row side valve, in which there are two mechanisms for inlet and exhaust, separate mechanisms, and here we have the single row side valve mechanism, in which there is only one mechanism for opening and closing the valve. It is also known as the L head engine because of the L shape of the cylinder head. So here we have the cam, the tappet, and the spring that is loaded on the valve. Again, as earlier, when the cam comes and touches, cam lobe comes and touches the valve tappet, it will lift the valve and opens the valve. Then we have the third system, that is the overhead inlet and side exhaust valve mechanism, or the F head, because it resembles the alphabet F. So here you can see the overhead inlet, that is the inlet valve is at the top, that is why it is known as the overhead inlet, and then we have the exhaust valve at the bottom, known as the side exhaust valve mechanism. So there is a cam here which is mounted on the camshaft. So when the cam rotates, it is in contact with the rocker arm. So this is the rocker arm in this engine, and it is pivoted to the rocker shaft. So when it is coming and contacting at this surface, it will lift the rocker arm, and in turn this portion is pushed upwards and this portion of the rocker arm is pushed downwards, since it is a lever. And since all these are in contact with each other, it will push down the exhaust valve, and after the cam passes, due to the spring pressure, the exhaust valve will close, and due to the closing of this valve, if pressure is exerted on this, it will pull down this push rod, and in turn the rocker arm on the overhead inlet valve, this portion will go downwards and this end of the rocker arm is pulled upwards. It will push this side, the rocker arm will push this side, so that this end of the rocker arm is pushed upwards and this end of the rocker arm is pushed downwards, so that the valve is opened up. So that is how these two valves operate side by side. These operate at different times, the inlet valve and the exhaust valve. And this makes use of two different rocker arms. It is known as the F-head engine. So once again I will explain. First, when the cam is operating at this end, it will push this end upward, so that the inlet valve is pushed inwards and opens up this is the exhaust valve. It will open up the exhaust valve, and when this end of the rocker arm is pushed upwards, it will push this portion and it will pull up or pull down this particular portion and open up the inlet valve. So that is the F-head engine. Then we have the I-head engine, or the most common type of mechanism, that is the single row overhead mechanism, which is noticed in the single cylinder 4-stroke Kirloskar diesel engine in the lab, which you did the experiment of valve timing diagram. Here, as we explained earlier, the same mechanism is there. The cam is down below the valve lifter or the follower mechanism. So this is the follower. So the cam will lift the follower or the tappet, and it will push the push rod upwards. The push rod is again connected to the rocker arm. So the rocker arm at this end, it is pushed upwards. It will lift the rocker arm, and this end of the rocker arm is pushed downwards because it is pivoted at this point by a rocker shaft, and this will push down the valve and opens the valve. And again, when the cam lobe passes the portion of the tappet, due to the spring pressure, the valve will close and it will push down the push rod and the other mechanisms. Now we can see the second mechanism, that is the overhead camshaft mechanism, which is most commonly found in the recent automobile engines. Here you can see the crankshaft that is located downwards or located at the bottom of the engine, and we have the camshaft that is located at the top portion of the engine, and these camshafts are driven from the crankshaft by means of some timing belts or chains, and even gear assemblies are also used. Valve operating mechanisms with single or double overhead camshafts are highly efficient. So double overhead camshaft means two camshafts will be there. One camshaft is for operating the inlet valve, and the second camshaft is for operating the exhaust valve. So one camshaft will operate only on one type of valve, that is inlet valve, and the other camshaft will operate only on the exhaust valve. So such type of valve operating systems are highly efficient. And overhead camshaft systems are much more efficient than the overhead valve or the side camshaft system, because you can see here that the cams are coming into direct contact with the follower, and the valve mechanism. So this movement of the cam will directly open and close the valve. In the previous system, there were other mechanical components like the push rod, the rocker arm, and other components. So here the time taken for opening and closing the valve is comparatively lesser. That means the valve opening and closing, the response time for opening and closing the valve is less. It can be quickly done. So the distance is shorter and valve response is much quicker. Valve adjustments are more accurate because other mechanical components are not there. And due to fewer mechanical components, we can use this engine for higher speeds. That is the main advantage, and that is the reason why recent engines or high-speed engines are using this type of system. That is the overhead camshaft system, because this system can run at very high speeds. The other system, that is the side camshaft system, due to a large number of mechanical linkages, we cannot run this engine at high speeds. Now let us see what are the advantages of the overhead camshaft system. So before that, how it operates, as we mentioned, it is very easy. The crankshaft, the drive is taken from the crankshaft to the timing gears and wheels to the camshaft, and the camshaft, the cam will operate directly on the tappet mechanism and on the valve tip. Advantages: highly efficient, it is more rigid, quicker opening and closing of valves, as I mentioned, because other mechanical linkages are not there, so we can achieve quicker opening and closing of valves. Lesser vibrations are there, and valve operation is much more precise and smooth. And one of the disadvantage of this system is that a large noise is produced due to, you can see here that if the engine is running at a high speed, say around 4000 rpm, the camshaft will also be running at one half of the crankshaft speed, that is 2000 rpm. So at that speed, the cam is coming and hitting or contacting the follower, so it produces a large noise. And it is not just one or two cams. You can see here there are 16 valves that are loaded. It is a 4-cylinder engine, and each cylinder has 2 inlet valves and 2 exhaust valves. Usually 16 valves or a 16 valve engine is found to be more efficient than an 8 valve engine or a 12 valve engine. That is because if there is more number of inlet valve and exhaust valve, it can permit more intake of air, and it will also permit more exhaust of the exhaust gases, so we can improve the volumetric efficiency. So here it is a 16 valve engine. It means that much number of cams should be there to operate each of these valves, and all of this is coming and hitting the tappet mechanism at different times, so it produces a lot of noise. So it is much noisy in operation, but it is more smoother, and the main advantage is quicker, and we can achieve much more control over the opening and closing of the valves. So that are the advantages. The disadvantage is that, as I mentioned, it is more noisy, higher initial cost is needed, because we may have to use more than one camshaft system. So camshafts are costly, so it is more costlier, and more lubricating oil is needed to flood the cam profile. That means the camshafts are every time immersed in oil, or it should be properly lubricated with oil in order to prevent the friction between the cam surface and the tappet surface. So since the cam is always coming in direct contact with the tappet surface or the follower surface, there is a chance of friction to occur. So in order to prevent or minimize friction, always lubricating oil should be provided. But this lubricating oil will not be reaching the engine inside the engine head. It will be properly sealed. Now let us look at the different types of overhead camshaft system. The first one is single overhead camshaft mechanism. It is mainly or it is commonly known by the short form SOHC, single overhead camshaft. Single overhead camshaft. You can see the diagram here, how the mechanism is there. The follower, it is of an inverted type. We have the overhead cam, which is machined on the camshaft, and the follower is coming in direct contact with the spring loaded valve. So when the cam lobe comes and exerts pressure on the follower, it will push the valve downwards and the valve will open. And when the cam lobe passes away due to the spring pressure, the valve closes. So that is single overhead camshaft mechanism. And again we have another single overhead camshaft mechanism with a rocker arm. In this there is no rocker arm. Directly the cam is coming into contact with the follower, whereas here instead of follower we have a rocker arm. The mode of operation is the same as that of the previous case. We have a fulcrum that is mounted here. It is end pivoted. The pivot is not at the middle, it is at the end. So when the cam lobe exerts pressure at this tip, and since this end is pin jointed, this end will be pushed downwards and it will open up the valve. So that is single overhead camshaft mechanism with a fulcrum lever. Then we have the double overhead camshaft mechanism with single rocker arm. So here we have a single cam that is operating over a single rocker arm, and this rocker arm is responsible for opening and closing of the inlet as well as the exhaust valve. So we just have a single rocker arm and a single cam system. So here when the cam lobe comes and touches this end, it will push this portion upwards, and since it is pivoted at this point, this portion will be pushed downwards so that this valve will be opened up. And when cam lobe passes away due to the spring pressure, the valve closes and this end is pushed upwards so that the pressure is exerted on this side, and when the cam lobe rotates and exerts pressure on this point, the valve is pushed downwards and this valve will open up. So that is the mechanism of double overhead camshaft mechanism with a single rocker arm. So it is known by the short form DOHC, that is a double overhead camshaft mechanism. And again this is commonly found in most of the engines. These two mechanisms are most commonly found, that is the double overhead camshaft mechanism with single rocker arm and the mechanism with inverted type followers. So the fourth mechanism, as we were telling, double overhead camshaft mechanism with separate rocker arm. So here we have separate rocker arms for each of the valves. the functioning is just the same. When the cam lobe touches the end of the rocker arm, it will push the valve downwards and it will open up the valve. So here we have two separate rocker arms, and this mechanism, as I just mentioned, it is commonly found in automobiles, cars, etc. We have inverted type followers, two inverted type followers separately for the two valves. So that is known as the double overhead camshaft mechanism with inverted type followers. Again, the mode of operation the same. Cam lobe comes and touches this follower, it will push the valve downwards and it will open up, and when it moves away due to the spring pressure, the valve closes automatically. So these are the different types of overhead camshaft systems. Now let us just compare the side camshaft with the overhead camshaft system. So overhead camshaft system or OHC, they are preferred over the side camshaft. Side camshaft, it is also known as the OHV or overhead valve system. So side camshaft, they are not much preferred. Overhead camshaft is the most preferred system because of greater rigidity, more control that we get over the valves. We can open and close the valves quickly, vibration is lesser, and valve operation is much more precise and smooth. So due to these reasons, we prefer overhead camshaft mechanism in automobiles, in latest automobiles. In overhead valve system or the side camshaft system, the valve lift can be adjusted by suitable design. So that is one advantage of the side camshaft system. If we are adjusting the lift of the rocker arm and the tappet mechanism and the push rod, accordingly the valve lift also can be adjusted. So that is one advantage, whereas that adjustment cannot be possible, that is not possible in the case of overhead cam system. Then the cam size has to be larger for a given cam lift in overhead camshaft system. So that means when the valve has to be sufficiently opened, since there are no other mechanical linkages, the cam is directly contacting the follower. So in order to open the valve to a larger extent, a larger cam is needed, and machining such larger cams will lead to larger or higher cam to follower velocities. So we cannot simply increase the size of the cam. There is a particular ratio beyond which the cam size cannot be increased. If we are increasing the cam size to increase the valve lift, then there will be problems such as increased side thrust. And again, as I mentioned, the cams are rotating at high speeds. So if the cams are made larger, or if the cam lobes are made much larger, then it will come and hit the valve, the follower mechanisms at high speeds, so that more vibrations will be produced and the tappet or the follower will be damaged soon. So we cannot allow that. So the cam size cannot be increased beyond a particular limit. So in overhead camshaft system, that is the advantage, that is the disadvantage, that the valve lift cannot be increased beyond a certain limit. That is one a disadvantage that is commonly noticed in the case of overhead camshaft mechanism.
The camshaft is designed in such a manner that the cam lobes could push the rocker arms at corresponding timings to open the valves. The return springs ensure that the valves lift back afterwards and keeps tension back on the lobes. SOHC design typically allows a 2 or 3 valves per cylinder configuration, where usually 1 valve for intake and 1 for exhaust, or 2 valves for intake and 1 for exhaust. However, current industrial competencies allow production of 4 valves per cylinder configuration using SOHC. Due to the reduced count of parts, the design complexity and manufacturing cost is comparatively low for SOHC engines. Since the mass of the valve train is lesser in such a configuration, SOHC engines tend to produce more torque towards low to mid RPM and provide improved fuel efficiency. The DOHC was later introduced with improved volumetric efficiency for an internal combustion engine. In this configuration, the head is packed with intake and exhaust valves, cam followers, and 2 independent camshafts. DOHC uses 2 separate camshafts per bank of the cylinder head. This allows all the cam lobes to directly operate the valves rather than using rocker arms as in SOHC engines. Here also, the return spring ensures that the valves lift back and keeps the tension on the camshaft lobes. DOHC usually implements a 4 valve per cylinder configuration, 2 valves for intake and 2 for exhaust. This configuration has a better valve lift, resulting in improved airflow through the combustion chamber. With less airflow restriction, the DOHC is even capable of generating more horsepower out of smaller displacement. Though this configuration can provide better top-end power, the design complexity and increased components result in more weight and a higher cost of production. When it comes to choosing between SOHC and DOHC engines, both have its own pros and cons. Let's look at some points briefing the presentation. SOHC uses a single shaft to drive all valves. Fewer components make less in weight. Better torque at low to mid-range RPM. Cost-effective at manufacturing. Fuel efficient due to fewer parts consuming energy. Camshaft being at the center denies the ideal location for spark plugs. DOHC uses 2 independent shafts to operate the valves. Complex design and increased production cost. Improved volumetric efficiency with better airflow. Makes the engine capable of revving up to higher RPMs. Better top-end torque and increased horsepower. Capable of implementing efficiency-enhancing technologies like VVT.